Hello and welcome to Newsroom series here on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Today, our focus is on the Northwest region. But before that, let's serve you with our top stories in the course of the day. President Bola Tinubu has transmitted the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Alteration State Police Bill 2026 to the House of Representatives, seeking a constitutional framework for the establishment of state police services. The president says the bill includes safeguards for a dual policing structure to strengthen national security and urges the lawmakers to give it expeditious consideration. In his letter to the Green Chamber, the president wrote, quote, "I am delighted to present to the House of Representatives for consideration the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Alteration State Police Bill 2026, which seeks to amend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to create a constitutional pathway for the establishment of state police services," end quote. The president, in his correspondence, notes that the executive bill, which builds on the significant work already done by the House of Representatives and incorporates additional safeguards to ensure that the creation of a dual police structure or policing structure to address Nigeria's evolving security challenges, can be achieved quickly and effectively to the benefit of all Nigerians. The former Special Advisor on Security to the Oyo State Government, Mr. Fatai Owoseni, has called for more proactive responses by state governments to security challenges, saying the recent rescue of the Orire kidnapped victims underscores the importance of collaboration among state authorities, local communities, and security agencies. Speaking on Channels Television's The Morning Brief, the former Lagos State Commissioner of Police also confirmed the release of the abducted Oyo School headmaster, Matthew Owade. He maintains that while federal security agencies play a critical role, state governments must take greater responsibility in coordinating intelligence, supporting security operations, and engaging local stakeholders to combat insecurity.
If you have a state where the governor is more responsible and responsive to certain things and is able to provide some of the wherewithals, rather than, saying I'm running to Abuja, sit down with his security operatives in the state and, map out strategy. It may work faster. That is what. Then how do you bridge the trust deficit? Because in the case of Ogbomoso, this last incident, I must say it is not because I'm from this state. Everybody showed concern. People are ready to volunteer information. We have been doing that here. So information matters. These guys are not kept, they are not spirits. People will see them. And it now depends on how these people are able to translate that to intelligence for those operatives that will work. And again, in some of these things, the narratives that are given out, you mentioned that even yesterday an headmaster was kidnapped. That narrative was given out as if this headmaster was picked in the school. This is an headmaster that was coming from his farm. We are not saying it should happen. Nobody has even reported to say his release has been secured. So some of these narratives sometimes don't help us. So the difference is how much of cooperation you have from the community and how much of readiness the state is there to support.
We start off now from Zamfara, where the state has indeed had its fair share of insecurity in recent times. However, Governor Dauda Lawal has assured local and foreign investors that the state is now safe for investment, declaring that improved security and ongoing infrastructure development have created an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. The governor disclosed that 3 Chinese companies have committed about $200 million to establish a lithium mining and processing plant in the state, a project expected to create about 2,000 jobs for young people.
I had to commend His Excellency, and he told me how everything is being developed from scratch. The airport, very smooth ride. The roads, extremely smooth. I looked around, I felt safe. I looked at Zamfara people, and I said, look, this is the message that we need to tell investors, that they need to come here. He's told me of his efforts in education, in healthcare, And we are talking about industry, trade, and investment. These are things that make investors comfortable to come. And so, yes, media may talk about insecurity a lot, but there's a lot more to talk about. And frankly, a lot of those discussions are sensationalized. I'm here. I feel safe. I'm here with the delegation. We all willingly came and we're happy to be here.
What we have now, compared to advantage, is the solid minerals. It is something that when you speak about critical minerals, Zamfara happens to be a state that has almost all the minerals that you can think about. And we're talking about investment. Just 2 days ago, we had a company that came here that is ready to invest over $200 million or billion dollars in Zamfara state. So Zamfara is not about insecurity. There are a lot of good things happening, and this is why we're saying Zamfara is open for investment.
United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF is holding consultations with government and partners in Kano, Jigawa and Katsina states to develop a new child development strategy under a 5-year country program document for 2028 to 2032. During the 2-day meeting in Kano, the chief of UNICEF Kano Field Office, Mr. Shafiq Uraman, said that the new program must address climate shocks, insecurity, urbanization and other challenges affecting children. Our correspondent, Nanshin Vincent, reports. We'll certainly hope to bring that report much later. Well, staying in Kano, the State Police Command has recovered a pistol, a suspected stolen vehicle, and intercepted 123 other vehicles during the series of operations aimed at tackling crime across the state, even as a suspect was also arrested with items including Indian hemp, electric cables, and other weapons. The command says the arrests and recoveries were made during intelligence-led operations and routine patrols conducted in different parts of Kano State. According to the police, investigations are ongoing to determine the ownership of the recovered vehicle and the source of the seized items, while efforts are being intensified to apprehend other members of the suspected criminal network.
This arrest validates the very reason we launched Operation Clean Plate. Vehicles without proper identification are being used to move suspicious individuals, prohibited firearms, narcotics, and other dangerous items across the state. By enforcing vehicle identification, we are cutting off a major lifeline to criminals. Let me be clear. Operation Clean Plate will not stop. It will be sustained and intensified across the 44 local government areas of Kano State. We will continue to dominate the public space and dismantle all means by which criminals seek to evade detection.
The federal government has flagged off the 2026 tree planting campaign with a target to build on over 48 million tree seedlings already raised nationwide as part of efforts to combat desertification across 11 frontline states. The government also commissioned the new headquarters of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall in Kano, with more than 210,000 Nigerians, or where more than 210,000 Nigerians have been engaged in restoration activities. Our correspondent, Sadiq Ilyasu, tells us more.
The Minister of Environment, Balaraba Abbas Lawal, alongside top officials and partners, inspect the new headquarters of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, following directive to relocate the headquarters to Kano. At the ceremony, the minister says environmental restoration remains key to national development.
In Nigeria, this vision goes beyond planting trees. It is about restoring degraded land, conserving biodiversity, improving livelihoods, strengthening food security, and building climate resilient communities across the 11 frontline states of Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states. In recognition of this strategic role as one of the frontline states in the implementation Grand Goal, the federal government decided to relocate the headquarters of the Grand Green Wall to Kano State, and today confirm that. So from today, the headquarters of the Great Green Wall is now in Kano.
The Director General of the agency, Saleh Abubakar, highlights progress recorded across frontline states.
The agency has also restored 105 hectares of degraded sand dunes to productive farmland and established banana plantations across Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, and Yobe states. In the area of renewable energy and rural infrastructure, the agency has distributed 4,879 solar home systems, 6,300 fuel-efficient rooftops, and 128 solar-powered irrigation pumps, while providing 430 solar-powered boreholes, 363 motorized boreholes, 110 tube wells, 71 community nursing skills and acquisition centers.
Kano State government says the relocation of the headquarters strengthened collaboration.
Today's formal handover of office accommodation is therefore more than a ceremonial exercise. It symbolizes a renewed partnership between the federal government and Kano State to restore degraded landscapes, combat desertification, and improve the livelihoods of our people. As the new host of the agency's national headquarters, Kano State is fully committed to providing the enabling environment required for the agency to flourish and fulfill its mandate.
The event peaks with a symbolic tree planting by the minister and stakeholders, marking the start of the 2026 planting season. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
As part of efforts to boost food production and improve agricultural output in the country, the Tinubu Support Group has commenced the distribution of fertilizers to smallholder farmers in Kaduna State. The initiative, according to the patron of the Tinubu Support Group and the Director General of the National Productivity Center, Bafa Babadanagundi, is to support farmers with the necessary farm inputs ahead of the 2026 planting season and forms part of a regional program across the Northwest.
With the 2026 farming season around the corner, farmers in Kaduna State are receiving much-needed support through the distribution of bags of fertilizers. The program, launched by the Tinubu Support Group, is part of a wider intervention across the 7 Northwest states to empower members of the support group actively involved in agriculture.
And the purpose why we are here today is to again on fertilizer to our new members. I find it time to come and see you and visit you and thank you for all the effort you have put on the success of Excellency and I hope you will continue to do.
Beyond the fertilizer distribution, the leaders acknowledge President Bola Tinubu's commitment to tackling insecurity, poverty, and other socioeconomic challenges confronting the country.
Before the coming of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigerian government borrowed money to pay salaries. But they no longer, now presently, during the Tinubu's administration, we no longer borrow to pay salaries. We were in serious crisis of insecurity in most of the part of the country. It has reduced drastically. I travel from Abuja to Kaduna, which I could not before the coming of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We are not saying there's no problem, and I always thank the president that he accepts that there is a lot of problem in the country. He accepts there's poverty. He accepts both asset and liability when he took over the government.
We don't have any opposition in Nigeria. Already we are thinking of Tinubu in Asobila 2027 and Obasani in Gomengas 2027. Because if you look at what is happening, there is no opposition in Nigeria because they have killed themselves. They are changing parties from one party to another because they could not get a ticket. Majority of them that left APC is because they are not expecting to get a ticket because maybe they didn't perform well or something of that nature. So APC produces a credible candidate that can contest and compete with any candidate that is coming. So anywhere we put our candidate, definitely we know APC are going to win.
The Special Assistant to Governor Ubasani and support groups, Chima Madi, says the fertilizer distribution complements the Kaduna State government's effort to support farmers and boost agricultural production.
This is not the first time he's coming here.
I've been part of the entourage that received him when he came the first time. He distributed empowerment programs to the support groups in Kano State, which I also relate to my governor, and my governor was very, very happy. We also tell you people that the larger one is coming from the Kano State government under the leadership of Senator Dr. Bosani. As it is, we have made arrangements for over 1,200 trucks of fertilizers to be distributed to farmers in Kano State. As at yesterday, I know that about 400 trucks are already on ground, and modalities are being mapped out for it to be distributed.
Similar distribution is ongoing across the Northwest Zone as part of efforts to increase agricultural production.
When we come back after the break, TY Danjuma Foundation trains 500 science teachers in Kebbi State. Details after this. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching Newsroom series right here on Channels Television. Now, we did tell you earlier that UNICEF is holding consultations with government and partners in Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina states to help develop a new child development strategy under a 5-year country program document for the years 2028 to 2032. Now, our correspondent Nanchin Vincent tells us more on that event.
The United Nations Children Fund and representatives of the governments of Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa states are joined by development partners to develop the 5-year country program aimed at reducing child poverty and strengthening essential social services in the states. The meeting is designed to use data and identify priority areas that will shape the United Nations intervention in the states.
Engaging more with the government, starting from project budget and planning to WASH to education, child protection and social protection. But we have other civil society present. We have representation from our colleagues from the disability civil society, so that we discuss the priorities of these 3 state governments and how we align UNICEF for those country programs.
Further stated that UNICEF is committed to working with government and partners to ensure the program reflects state priorities and address challenges affecting children.
There's a whole lot of technological changes, economic changes, there is social and political changes, so we are trying to understand these all and trying to place the next priorities according to that one, so that the multi-dimensional and multi-deprivations are addressed for the children of Nigeria, and particularly for our 3 states, Jigawa, Katsina, and Kano.
Speaking on behalf of Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa State Government, the Acting Permanent Secretary of the Kano State Ministry of Budget and Planning, Mr. Abdulmuni Ajumawa, notes that the consultation is critical towards developing an evidence-based inclusive program that places children and young people at the center of development planning.
Developing this country program 2020 to 2022 will address some of these issues. Number one, we identify the way forward, that is which will be the outcome at the end of the process of implementation. Number two, we at the Ministry of Plan and Budget in the 2 states, and we see how we can contribute to increase the budgetary allocations in these 2 states, in the key sectors that we are addressing.
UNICEF is hopeful that the consultation workshop will build a common understanding of child rights challenges across Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa states, identifying systematic bottlenecks to develop practical recommendations for the next phase of UNICEF support. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
The T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, in collaboration with the Alkali Husseini Foundation, has commenced a 7-day capacity building program for over 500 science teachers in Kebbi State. The training, which was flagged off in Birnin Kebbi, is aimed at enhancing the teaching capacity of science teachers in public schools across the state. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the Executive Director of the Alkali Husseini Foundation, Alhaji Ibrahim Husseini, said the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation provided a grant for the 2026 Teachers Training Circle. He explained that participants will receive certificates at the end of the program and will in turn conduct step-down training for other teachers across Kebbi to further strengthen the teaching of science subjects.
Training is in the core science subjects, all the core science subjects, including mathematics and English, chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, basic science, as well as English. These are all areas that performances are always very low, and there is always this issue of trying to train and retrain our teachers so that we have improvement in the performances of the students. The training comprise both SUBEB staff as well as Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, as well as Secondary School Management Board, because they are the component of the teachers that are in charge of teaching these core science subjects. We have this in view of the fact that after this training, those that benefited will do a step-down training for other science teachers in the state.
The European Space Agency, ESA, in collaboration with Future Earth and Bayero University, Kano, has organized a one-day capacity-building workshop for journalists on the use of Earth observation tools for climate change, disaster reporting, and investigative journalism. The workshop aims to equip media practitioners with the skills to set the agenda for finding solutions to environmental and climate challenges.
Many satellites. We have been launching satellites for many years.
Media practitioners gather at the Center for Dryland Agriculture, Bayero University, Kano, for a workshop organized by the European Space Agency in partnership with Future Earth and Bayero University, Kano.
Until the disaster occurs, then we now travel.
The training is designed to strengthen journalists' capacity to accurately report climate change and environmental issues using Earth observation tools and satellite data. Project lead, Bayero University, Kano, Professor Aliu Barao, notes that the growing impact of climate change poses significant threats to the environment and the future if not properly addressed.
We believe, and I would say strongly believe, that the media is the bridge between science, society, and even policy. As such, whatever you do, or we do as a university, we need to share that knowledge. Nigeria and Africa at the moment are exposed to serious environmental challenges, not limited to the changing climate, land degradation, desertification, drought, soil erosion, and violent windstorms. These are problems that are recurrent, and they are overpowering and overstretching our capacity to cope with them. So we need new adaptation strategies.
For participants, the workshop has broadened their understanding of climate reporting and will enable them to produce more credible, data-driven stories on environmental issues.
This is a great opportunity for us to map areas and of course to tell story better, especially with regards to farming communities. We visit farming communities a lot where we do field days. So it's a great opportunity for us to visit such farms, understand the trends, and inform the farmers the better ways of farming better. So I think it's a learning and great opportunity for us.
These are the kind of trainings that we need, because now we will report with evidence and facts based on the trainings that was given to us by this hub. I would definitely say a lot of us would go home with a takeaway. Now we will find it easier to report on stories that has to do with environment and even beyond environment.
As the fourth estate of the realm, organizers believe that journalists play a critical role of informing the public and driving conversations that can influence positive environmental action, which is why this workshop is deemed essential for the benefit of all concerned. And that's where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Newsroom Series with a look on the Northwest region. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.